Howdy folks, this is Justro at Metcalf Mills. I wanted to show you how I was laying off my garden today, share that with you. I used my old trusty push plow. You can see it right here behind me. It's a 1-horse machine. I'm the horse. And when you're laying off rows with one of these, it's about as easy as falling off of a log. It's real easy. And I'm gonna show you how I do that. Right here you can see it. I've started laying off right here. I'm gonna show you how this old push plow works. When I move my string up, I just step it off, usually in the garden about 3 feet. Right there. Right here's what I'm gonna use for this part. Drive this stake up, go down here and drive the other one up. This works a lot better with 2 people. You can have somebody on each end of the garden and work on it simultaneous. So come over here, step up 3 feet. Hey Penny Feist, that's old Penny right there. She's my miniature mastiff, ain't you, girl? You're my miniature mastiff, ain't you, girl? Yeah, that's my miniature mastiff. Look what a face on the dog. Look at that. Look at that beautiful face. Look at there. Little miniature mastiff right here. All right, we'll step this up 1, 2, 3. I go a little farther for my string because it gives you room for your push plow and room for the horse to walk. I can't hardly film this and hold this camera all at the same time. So there's something creative we can do maybe. All right. We'll be ending up out here, so I'll lay my hammer down out here. Makes a nice furrow for you to plant your seed in. I guess it might be hard to tell on camera, I don't know. It does, you can take my word for it. Now let's see. It's gonna be a little tricky operating this thing and trying to hold the phone at the same time. My film crew is sick today, so I'm having to do all this by myself. Let's get this here. Can you see how that thing's working? I'll go slow and see how that's working there. I just stay right below my string. Keep my row nice and straight. Like I said, it's as easy as falling off a log when you got a push plow. You got a horse to push it. Folks, we got her all laid off here. Ended up with 12 rows. That's what we usually have. Thanks to the old push plow, we got it done pretty easy. And the horse. Now we're ready to drop some seed. Something I done here on the top side, folks. My last 3 rows, I spaced them on 4 foot instead of 3 foot. I'm gonna plant 2 rows there. And then good old mountain greasy beans. They're runner beans. You have to stake them up. Man, are they good. They're real good for canning, and they're even better for eating. So that's what we're gonna do on these top 2 rows here. We usually grow them. I growed them last year down on the lower side, or the upper lower side. I'm gonna switch it up and move them up here. I don't like to grow things in the same spot every year. It furthers your chances for pests and diseases. So folks, we are a little late here for planting a garden, but I ain't too worried about it. There's just some things going on and kind of held us up a little bit. But the way I like to look at things, if something don't go the way you think it ought to all the time, that just opens you up for a different, maybe, opportunity. So I look at this late garden as an opportunity to see if it makes a difference in the pest, if it breaks up their life cycle or not. And we'll always find out if it was too late, because you know who's going to tell us that? Old Jack Frost, that's who. All right. Let's see here. Got some Silver Queen corn here a buddy gave to me to try. He said you can save the seed from it. It's Amish bred corn, and somebody's telling me the other day you can save the seed from any Silver Queen, but I didn't know that. I thought it was hybrid. I don't know, but we're gonna save the seed from it anyway. So right here's them greasy beans I was telling you about. Oh boy. And let's see here, Red River peas. Peggy Nick's bunch beans. Little leftover sorghum grain, which I own maybe half of that. I share it with a friend of mine. Some more different kind of greasy beans. It'll have to go in a different patch because we don't want to cross-pollinate. Cucumber seeds. I think we got some peas in this bag. Yep, peas. All right. So I guess the first thing I'm gonna do is put my greasy beans in. Something else I like to do, folks, when I'm planting my garden is change stuff around every year, but also I want to take into consideration where I plant my corn and my beans, because they're so tall. Them beans will grow 8 foot if they got somewhere to run, and that corn will probably be 6 or 8, probably 8 foot tall, something like that. Maybe not on the sweet corn. It may not grow that tall. I don't know. I've never growed this kind before, but I like to take into consideration where it's going to cast the shadows at. I don't want to be casting shadows on some of my other rows for some of my shorter crops. The way I grow this garden, it's on contour here with the hill, but it's almost east to west as well. So when that sun passes over, it's shining down all your rows. Like if you got them running north to south, then most of them's going to get shaded till midday, and then they'll get shaded in the evening. But when you run your rows east to west like this, well, they're going to like it because they're going to be getting that sun down in between them all day long. And if you're in the flat country, you don't have no problem doing that. But sometime up here on the hills, around here where I live, see, and these hills here, you're just kind of stuck with what you got. Pretty good row spacing, about probably 12 inches, about a foot between the hills. Plant spacing, I'm sorry. About a 12-inch plant spacing on them. I might actually just plant one grain to a hill because I don't have a whole lot of this seed. I got more seed, but just not of this batch. I'm just gonna go and plant one seed, and if it don't come up, I'll come back and I'll replant it, stick another stick another seed right in there. So that's how we'll handle that. That's all there is to it, folks. For now, till the stuff starts growing, and then when the weeds start growing, you'll fight the weeds of the day, and they'll be growing of a night when you're in the bed asleep. So it's a battle. Two rows down, folks, we're gonna come down here and plant our Silver Queen sweet corn here. I usually put 2 grains to a hill. I space them about a foot. We'll give them a good dose to mushroom compost. Help them along a little later, but I like to try to use cover crops for fertility. There's a lot going on this fall. My dad being sick, last fall, my dad being sick and whatnot, I didn't get no cover crop on the garden. I had a cover crop where I'm gonna plant my biggest patch of corn here. But I like to do cover crops just as soon as something like this sweet corn right here, as soon as I get the last ear off of that stuff, I'm gonna come back and run the tractor through the disc and tear the ground up and get a cover crop sowed on it. So you're just helping yourself when you do that. And there's different cover crops to try to do different things. It's a science, really. And you can study a little bit on what you're trying to do and what you need to do for what you're trying to do. But cover crop it, folks. You can't go wrong. Folks, I'll tell you, it's a good little trick here. It'll help you if you're planting corn or beans or really anything. If you want to save time, when you drop it, just take your foot, rake a little bit of dirt over, step on it right easy, and you're ahead of the game right there. You don't have to do nothing else. You just put the seed in there. You don't have to do nothing else. You don't have to come back and cover it. Drop that stuff, put a little dirt over it. We always come back and cover with a hoe all my life, and I started using this here push plow to cover with, and it's unnecessary work. You can do that right there, and I don't want to cover this sweet corn too much because the seed was give to me, and they said it'd been in the freezer for a while. It should be fine, but if it's not going to grow, I want to cover it just very lightly so that I'll know, if I cover it deep, it's going to take it longer to come up for sure. And I ain't got time to waste. If it ain't going to grow, I need to know it so I can get something else in here. It wouldn't be as critical back early, but right now it's getting critical. So, quick way to cover your seed right there. It ain't rocket science, folks. Drop a seed. And hopefully you got a boot down there to cover it up with. Well, I was just getting rolling good today and come up a storm and rained me out. Had to put the brakes on. I'm gonna run down the road and check a couple of my patches down there where I'm gonna plant corn and sorghum and see how wet they are. I wanted to try to plant this evening, but it may be too wet. Let's go down there and see what we find. these taters are up to. Just planted these things the other day. Look here. They're busting it. Busting it. Just like me. Look at there. Looky here. Didn't plant them I didn't cover them that deep because that's what I wanted them to do. I wanted them to come out of there and start growing as fast as they could. Look over here. And that right there puts a big old smile on the Tater-tarian's face. Put a smile on your face, Bear, to see them taters up. Well, what do you expect? They ain't got no meat in them. It looks a little wet. Looks a little wet. But not too wet though. It's a little sticky. Just barely. It'll dry out in no time. Taters up there. Taters down there you can't see. Look what a pretty evening, my goodness. Oh yeah, look here. Who's peeking out right there? Guess who? Guess who? That's my taters. Old Tater-tarians next. Well, I guess my two favorite things, I don't have just one, is taters and mustard greens. And if you watch my channel very long, you know that. Taters and mustard greens. Look at there. Woo. These taters up here, I dug some out of there the other day. You can always tell when you got taters under there because when them blooms pop out, them blossoms, you know it's time. You can dig some taters out from under there. Yeah, that's how you tell. Hound decided he wanted to take an evening stroll. I need to go. Well, look who finally decided to come back. Come on, boy. Come on. Can we go now? Can we go now? Pretty dry, looking pretty dry. Not too wet, just probably just about just right to plant some. Oh, look at this now. You know what that beautiful stuff is? That's my family's long ago choice wheat for making biscuits. That's red Clausen. And I was able to get a hold of the little bit of the seed, and I growed this little seed plot right here, and I cannot wait to harvest it. I'm hoping everything goes all right with it. And I hope it makes, I hope I get a bushel of grain off of this plot. That might be able to plant a half an acre with that much. It's gonna be some more dry weather, so that'll be good. I don't know what these are, probably some kind of weevils laying eggs to try to get a early bite on the grain. I hope that's not too big a problem. I hope it's just that. Here's somebody working here. Oh, ladybug, lady beetle on the job. Here's another one. Working on the job. I don't know who that is. I don't like to kill bugs until I find out who they are, because there are some beneficial insects. And I don't like to kill them unless I know who they are. I was gonna do a little talk on this wheat, but I just hadn't got around to it yet. Well, my camera lady, we come down here to do it the other day, like I said, and it rained and it was too wet in here to get in here, and then she's sick right now, but we'll come down here and get in the Clausen, and when it's good and dry, and check it out, see what all is gonna go on with it. Now this patch, this is where I had the cover crop last year. That video that I sowed that cover crop here with cowpeas, crimson clover, yellow mustard, triticale, and rye. That was here, and that cover crop is what we put in the ground on that last video. And this is where I'm going to plant my Hickory King. It's kind of just out of the spot where the Hickory King was last year, kind of alternating. And I'm going to put a cover crop on this middle section right down through here. I don't know if you can see it in the video, but the center of this field kind of crowns, and it's a little higher down through there. And it stays drier. Like if you look at this field after it starts drying out, that center ridge down through, right through there, it'll dry out first. And when the rest of this is lower, it stays a little wetter. So my corn's getting planted a little late, so it worked out perfect. The cover crop is over here on the wettest section of the field next to the creek, so my corn should have plenty of moisture and grow hopefully fast enough to make a harvest this year. Back over in that back corner right through there, you can't tell where I've worked it up, but right through there, that's all worked up too, that whole corner is. And all the way down right through here. But that's where I'm gonna put some beans. That's where all that clover was. I'm gonna hopefully put some beans and some other stuff over there, maybe some other kind of cucurbit vine crop of some kind. Need to put some watermelons in here too. Hopefully it's not too late for them, but we're gonna try it anyway. And what I was gonna say on this center ridge, I'm gonna put a cover crop in to prepare that for hopefully a grain crop. We'll sow some small grains, some wheat this September, hopefully that black emmer. I'd like to grow a big crop of that here. So that's the plan. Prep that center ridge down through here for some small grain, black emmer. Get a cover crop in there. August, we'll put that cover crop under. And September, we'll put us some black emmer in there. I'm excited about that. Come on, Bear. Come on, boy. Come on, boy. Watch him go. Watch him go. Sure who's out for an evening stroll. Sure who's out for an evening stroll. They say these things. He can snap, he can reach that neck out probably 6 inches and snap so fast you wouldn't believe it. Snap your finger off or what? Barry, don't you mess with that. He'll get you, boy. Get back now. Get back, he'll get you. They say these things can live to be over 100 years old, so this one right here might have been here when my grandpa was born. They're amazing creatures. Tail on there. And they get big too. They've got a little thing in the bottom of their mouth. When they're in the bottom of the creek, they can open their mouth and wiggle this little tentacle thing in the bottom of their mouth, and fish will swim up there and they'll see it wiggling around like a worm, and they will grab that little thing, and then the turtle will snap his beak shut, and that's his, he'll have his meal there. Fresh fish right there. You better get out of the road here. Somebody might not see you and run over you. I'm gonna try to ease him out. Well, he's gonna go on his own. Don't want to make him mad. He might want to fight. So, do you see that head fly up there? That's how fast they can snap. See that? Now he's getting mad. He's gonna turn around and fight. I wanted him to go off on the bank there so he wouldn't get run over, but I guess he'll just go wherever he wants to. Come on, I ain't gonna bother you. I'm gonna get you out of the road. Come on. Get it now. Get it now. Going down the bank there. If you're going to the creek, go on. Somebody's gonna run over you. They don't put up with nothing, that's for sure. Go off down the bank there, so nobody won't run over you. Go on. Go on. Go off down the bank there so nobody won't run over you. Go on. I don't have no tool on my truck. Go on off the bank so nobody won't run over you. Go on. Go on. Go on. Got a hold of my boot there, see that? Bit my boot. Try to get him off of the bank. There's a car coming down the road. Don't want him to get run over. Come here, bear. There he goes. Now he'll be safe. Come on, bear. Folks, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Hanging around with me. I'm so glad you could come along and see what I was doing today. I hope you enjoyed it. This is Justro at Metcalf Mills. I look forward to seeing y'all real soon.